The Papua New Guinea government appears to be taking a more conciliatory approach to dealing with the media after an outcry over its earlier plans, which journalists saw as threats to media freedom. A committee on communications has been hearing from journalists and others at Parliament. RNZ Pacific's PNG correspondent, Scott Waide, is one of those who made a submission, and he spoke with Don Wiseman.
I haven't had a look at the latest draft of the media development policy, but the activities for this week have been that the journalists have been called up, media practitioners, media influencers, to a parliamentary committee to give evidence and to make submissions. So the president of the Media Council was there, made a submission, plus other senior journalists as well. Now, the tone of the inquiry has shifted from one that is trying to put blame on the media to one that is a bit more sympathetic to the challenges of the media. It was very educational for the members of the committee to sit down and actually listen to the challenges that people are facing in terms of political influence, the challenges of training and education in the tertiary institutions that train journalists.
So can we expect that the government would look, for instance, at providing resources for further training of journalists?
That's the discussion that has been received very well by the committee. And as I logged out of the Zoom meeting that I was having with them after making my submission, the University of Papua New Guinea's Vice-Chancellor and members of the journalism department also came forward and gave their submission. So I think the narrative, as I said, has shifted from trying to control mainstream media or trying to put in place guidelines to trying to understand it better. And that was the feeling that I got from this morning's session.
Yes, because there were major concern that this was the government reigning in the media and that the government wanted the media as a PR unit for itself, essentially.
Yes, initially the first draft of the media development policy, that was the tone and that was the thrust of the document. And it specifically indicated that media should be a tool for development, which is in a sense okay as a tool for development. But there has to be this healthy ecosystem of various views in one place where people can debate and argue without fear or favour.
In the PNG media environment, in the most recent international ratings, it's still not regarded as a particularly welcoming environment for journalists and for freedom of expression, is it? A lot of things have got to happen to improve that, and much of that comes back to what the government says and does.
Yes, and that's what we've been saying, and that's what the Media Council has been saying over the last 10 years, because the reputation of Papua New Guinea in relation to the media has declined over the last 10 years. And we've seen that, with the intimidation of journalists, with the influences from external influences on media companies and newsrooms.